Hopefully, I have it better this time around. We had to end the first live because it just wasn't working. I couldn't hear, I couldn't see her. It was difficult for her to join at first. And okay, so I'm going to send a request now. There we go again. Okay. Finally.
Can you see me now?
Oh my god.
Okay.
That felt like such a journey. Yes, I can finally see you. Thank Jesus. Hi. Hello.
Hello. How are you? How are you
I'm
doing?
good. How are you?
I'm good.
It's so good to have you here.
Oh yeah, it's a pleasure. I know we should have had this life like for a very long time. I was on the road,
Well,
so I
as
couldn't
we
couldn't miss.
have you now, and that is all that matters.
Yeah.
The fact that we have you now, that's the cocoa. That's the cocoa. Welcome back. How was? Tell me. So where should I even just like dive right into it? It's like we're segue like you're on the
Just
road. So tell me what was the experience like? 50 days, right? 50 days,
yeah,
10
I mean
countries.
it turned out to 70 days, but it was fun.
Oh,
It was
right.
fun.
So what was the
Yeah.
experience like?
Um it was fulfilling. I think that's the word. It was very fulfilling. It was stressful at some point because going on for 70 days, just jumping buses and thinking of the next place and thinking of the next thing was a bit much, but overall it was amazing. It was a good journey.
How long did it take you to plan it?
I didn't plan it. I didn't I
Oh.
didn't plan.
Oh.
Yeah. I
Really?
planned the trip on the move. That was the craziest part. Like I planned my next country in the next country. So it was crazy.
So where were you when you decided, okay, I'm going to go to another place?
I was in Jos. Last year I wanted to do the trip, but I couldn't. I don't know, the money, health, everything was wrong. So I was in Jos. I'd gone for an event in Jos, from my other organization. And I was just like talking to a friend of mine. I'm like, now that I'm in Jos, can we go to other places? And he was like, yes. And then all of a sudden he couldn't make it. And I'm like, I'm already in Jos. Let me go to Kano. Then from Kano, I was already close to Niger. And I'm like, you know what? Do I have my passport with me? Yes, I do. So I just decided to move. It wasn't like a case of, oh, I'm doing this like that. So,
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, so let me take a second to do a quick introduction. Hi, if you're just joining us, this is That Okay Lady. And honestly, I was on your Instagram page and I was like, you? You're leaving. See, I'm so jealous. Oh my days. I am so jealous. The places that you have been, because I wonder. I'm very, very curious about culture and people and food, and I think to be able to just do it, especially as a woman, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and I am so in awe. Honestly, I'm so in awe, and I'm so glad that we have you on the live. So take a few minutes to introduce yourself and we can kick it off from there.
all right, I see my people joining. Thank you for joining. You're welcome to this live. It's Jackpot Connect, I guess.
Yes,
My
what's
name
connected everywhere.
is Omotoke Fatoki. I am I'm an award-winning travel promoter and influencer in Nigeria. I love to travel by road. I love to experience new culture and take daring experiences. Um, I'm Nigerian first, and then I'm the world citizen. That's what I call myself. I love to meet new people, new experiences, just pack my bag and get on the road. So yeah, it's nice to meet you guys. So let's get into it.
Thank you so much for joining the live today. So let me just dive right into it. I have like a ton of questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, the, yeah, the first is what makes road traveling exciting?
What?
Especially when you, what makes road traveling exciting? Especially
Okay.
when you think about, you know, in Africa, especially because you're doing a lot of Nigerian African countries, and it's just easier to get on a plane, to be very honest.
Yeah.
I
But,
mean,
but it's
yeah,
easier, but it's expensive, right?
yes, it is. Yes,
Aha.
it is. Yes, it is. It is that. It is that.
It's
It is
easier,
that.
but
So,
it's
what makes road
expensive.
traveling exciting?
Um, Personally, for me, I started road traveling because at the time when I started traveling, I couldn't afford air travel, and because I also started in Nigeria, I started traveling from one city to another, one restaurant to another. So I get used to road traveling. It's not like, oh, I initially chose road traveling at the first time. But the more I travel by road, the more I realize that the experience is quite loving. Because the thing about road traveling is it's a long distance of trip, and you're sharing this long hours of trip with people that you have to put your trust in, right? For example, I've
Mm-hmm.
been on the road for 3 days and I'm with strangers at the same bus. We're all getting down, trying to figure out what to eat, trying to figure out how to clean ourselves and all those things. You begin to realize that you can do with minimalism. There's a little things you can do with life that you can adjust with. The stopping and the continuation of the trip. You get to see more. When you're on the air, you're just on the air, you can see the clouds. The clouds are gorgeous. I've get to experience air travel too. Yes, the cloud is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Being up there
Mm-hmm.
is super fun. But on the road, all this adrenaline rush of jumping and meeting people and all these things, it's super beautiful because the thing about road is it gives you more elements to your trip. It gives
Yeah.
you more experiences to your trip. You can tell more stories with anything can happen on the road, and it's exciting because you don't know what next is going to happen, right? You can have to stop. There's always a stopover. There's the eating place, and because of it, you're experiencing other places while you're going to your final destination. So road travel is not about the final destination, right? It's about the journey. I think air travel is about the final destination. You're looking forward to it's little that you can see. But with road travel,
Yeah.
it's not about just the destination, it's about every stop to get to the
Experiences
destination, and
along
it's
the
super
way.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. Because I have, when I went to NYC camp, I did travel by road to from
Yeah.
Lagos to Adamawa, and it took a couple of days. I was excited, stopped by different cities, tested out
Yes.
different foods, experienced life with other people on the road, trying to
Yeah.
figure out how to clean yourself. So yeah, I do get it. It's definitely about the experience, definitely. So as a road traveler, what are some things you should always carry with you?
As a road traveler, you need to have at least a wipe. You need to have a wipe. Like I
Especially as
think
a
wipes is
woman.
very down the list when people are traveling. Like you need to have a wipe because you need to wipe yourself, you need to wipe your face because you need to wipe your armpits, you need to wipe your you just need a wipe. So wipe is something that's always in my bag because yeah. Your power bank, your phone, I have two power banks when I'm traveling. I have a 20 watt or 20,000 something something. I have
20,000
another 40,000 something something. So I have two power banks when I'm traveling so that I don't get stranded. I have my phone, I have my charger because you have to connect as you move. What else? I just started traveling with neck pillow because I went on a very long trip. But if you're going on a long trip, you can also have a neck pillow just to support your neck while
Mm-hmm,
traveling.
mm-hmm.
Your document is very important. Always put it where you can
Yeah.
see it. Always have it, your ID card, your passport, whatever. Just make sure you have a means of identification with you. Money, travel with cash a lot. A lot of people, yes, we're living in the, what's it called? Cashless world. But when it comes to road travel, you need to always have cash with you. You can get stranded at any point in time. You might need to exchange money at any point in time. So always travel with, cash, preferably dollar if you can access it. Yeah. And then every other thing that you feel you need, tissue, whatnot. But wipes, phone, power bank, your documents, they're very important to be on the road with.
Yes. So, speaking of, I was on your page and I saw you talking about a backpack that you bought somewhere for 6,000 naira. Funny enough, I can't remember where you bought the backpack, but I remember the price. But I remember the price of the backpack. So, if you're backpacking, what should be in your backpack? What are the things that you feel like essentials that should be in a traveler's backpack?
So personally, when I'm packing, my packing is always on the day of my trip, and I have like very important things that I know for sure.
How do you
Uh,
do that?
I mean, that's just how I live. Maybe recklessness. But you see, if I try to plan before my trip, if I try to plan days before my trip, I begin to pack unnecessarily. That when you say, oh,
Okay.
this jeans is fine, let me add it. Oh, this top is fine, let me add it. But if you're packing on the days of your trip, you are under pressure and you need to pack just the essentials.
But
It's
don't
basic
you forget
mathematics.
something?
Just don't forget the most important things. When I forget things, when I'm traveling, I forget things. It's always clothes, not any other thing. I'll make
Oh,
sure that
right. Okay,
my
okay. That makes
documents are
sense.
already like where they are supposed to be in my
That makes
small carry-on. My
sense.
document is there, my power bank is there, my tripod stand. The things I'm going to need are always intact. The other things that I can forget, see, if I forget top, I can wear one jean and one top anyway. I can wear, on this trip, I traveled with one slippers and one, what was it called? All
Okay.
these Crocs, all
Oh,
these cover
okay.
Crocs. And I can tell
Okay.
you that 80% of my trips, I was on my slippers. I even forgot that I carry Crocs. Now imagine if I'd be packing before my trip, I could have packed, heels, sneakers, and I gotta do this and that. And at the end of the day on the trip, I would not need it. It's just going to be extra load for me to pull up. And as a backpacker, you want to travel as light as possible. It is very important as a backpacker. You don't
Yeah.
want to just pack because you feel like, oh, I'm going to go to this nice restaurant. I mean, it's good to pack to some destinations, right? According to some destination aesthetics and everything, it is
Mm.
nice. But as a backpacker, it is not your top priority. If you're a backpacker that's going to be jumping from one place to another, that's going to be doing too many activities, then you want to travel as light as possible. But if you're going on a vacation, for instance, yes, you can park according to the destination because it's vacation. You're not jumping to go and see one waterfall by 5 a.m. or you are trying to go and see one culture by 8 p.m. So you have to now. So as a backpacker, you just have to pack the essentials. The most essential that you need to have is
Hold
your
on.
your gadget, anything that is going to keep you safe on the road. Apart from
Okay.
that, your clothes, your undies, whatnot that you need to sustain you along the road is just fine. If you look at, I mean, in the white culture, for instance, if you see most of these white people that travel, it's most especially that travel, if you check them, they're always on one round neck and one joggers and one sneakers, and you see, and then one extra shorts. You just see them like it is that easy, to be honest. It is that easy. So I'll say just pack, your gadget, things that are very important to you as a backpacker. As a backpacker, life will teach you minimalism. It's to let you understand that you don't need much. You need just very little things to survive. And I was on the
Yeah.
road for 70 days and I have this set of clothes that it taught me how to rearrange and manage and readjust to my situation. I'm like, when I got back home, I let go of a whole sack of clothes. I'm like, if I didn't need you for 70 days and I've not worn most of you for a long time, definitely I don't need you. It's just teach you minimalism
Real.
and teach you how to live, and that is it's okay. It's
Right.
pretty good.
Right. Okay, that's amazing. Still on backpacking. What are some tips for backpacking wherever, not just Nigeria, across Africa? What are tips that people should know? Maybe security tips, travel tips, eating tips, anything.
Um, you know, travel is really to us, and depending
Yeah,
on
so she
what
said
you're.
from your experience.
Okay, from my
So let me
experience,
switch the topic.
my tips. First of all, be open-minded, right? Anyone that
Okay,
knows me know
very
that
important.
I am so. I want to experience it first before I can judge it. Everything in life, right? Before I can tell you I don't like this thing, I want to experience it first and say, okay, I don't like it. Not because I feel like the word are saying this is not good or it is not fine or something. Except if it's bad, if I feel like it can harm me or it can harm you or harm someone. If not, I want to try it and see that it's something that is not for me. So
Yeah.
also as a backpacker, as a traveler generally, you want to be open-minded to places, to things, to people,
People.
because the orientation of other people shouldn't be your own um, belief. Like, oh, because they say, they are doing this thing in Ghana. So when I get to Ghana, I'm already guided because I feel like, why don't you experience Ghana for yourself before you now say, oh, okay, this thing
For
is true or
yourself.
this thing is
Yeah,
false, right? So be
yeah,
open-minded is the first thing you need to like set your mindset on the journey. I'm going to experience it. Whatever happens, happens. I'm going to have fun on this journey is very important. Security wise, to be honest, I just the blood of Jesus and I get on the road. To be honest. To be honest. So,
okay.
so most times when people ask me what's my security tips, I'm like, Jesus is almost sure pass. Is very, very sure. Um,
Oh
but
my days. Well, okay.
yeah,
I mean, I get it.
yeah. To be honest, because I've not been there before, so I don't know what exactly is going on. A brand sent me this bunch of security, pepper spray and all stuff at some point.
Yeah.
Thanks to that person, right? But I've not used it as much. I've not had any cost to use it. Sometimes
But do you
I forget it at home. Sometimes I remember to carry it, but I've never had the need to use it. I'm super grateful to God for that. But yes,
thank you.
have it if necessary. Like have those
Mm-hmm,
things. If you feel
mm-hmm.
like you're very prone to fear or you don't like when people invade your space or something like that, right? You can have it just for your security, just to stay safe.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I just learn when I get to the country or the state or the village. I ask people, what are the rules and guidelines here? Can I be out at 10 p.m.? Is that
Yeah. Very
fine?
important.
Can I be out at 1
Very
a.m.? Is that
important.
fine? Is there a easy transportation that can take me from one place to another? If not, do I have to
Mm-hmm.
find my way back with public transport? How is your public transport? Like in Sierra Leone, immediately I got to Sierra Leone and this guy helped me from nowhere. My
I don't know what is going on. Is it my network? Oh my days. Can anybody hear her? So I need the thing now is I need to figure out if it is just my live or it's hers or it's both of us. So if anybody can still hear me, please leave a comment just so I can know and figure out how to navigate. Okay, so all right, I think it's the network. So I'm just going to invite her to join again as soon as she's back. But I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. If you have any questions for Toke, please pop them in the questions box and I will definitely be asking all those questions at the okay. Thank you so much, Joseph and Explorers Nigeria. Um if you have any questions for Toke, please just pop the questions down in the questions box. You see the question mark icon down here, and you can just leave your questions there, and so that it doesn't get lost in the live. And as soon as we are taking questions, I will be asking her those questions. But I will have her join as soon as she joins the live again. Waiting for her to join. I think it's the network. Let's see. I think it's a network, so we're just gonna wait. I don't think she has joined again, so hopefully she joins soon enough and we're able to to round up. And also, I think it's a good time for me to say that if this is the first time you're joining the live or you're coming across our page, our account, we are jackpot.ng, jackpot content. We create and curate all things travel and lifestyle, immigration, jackpot. We also help you sell and buy your properties. I was about to say materials. No, we help you sell and buy properties. If you're traveling out of the country, or maybe you just need an upgrade, or you're looking for a good deal or a good bargain, you can always check our page and our website. We have all of these items listed, from household items, including but not. Okay, so I think Toke is back, and all right. Hopefully, we are good now. Yes, welcome back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they just decided to say no network and they went off. Nigeria.
This
It
country
is well.
stresses me.
They decided to
This
say no
country
network.
stresses
Like,
me.
I don't care about you. No network. I'm going off. Hi,
Crazy,
Fabia.
honestly.
Hi, Ike.
Crazy.
Hi, Kosi. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Sorry for the
Okay,
network.
so we stopped at asking about practices and guidelines
Okay.
and how you were in Sierra Leone and a man helped you. So, yeah.
Okay. So I was talking about security and I was talking about, asking questions, asking for guidelines and all. Like I've stayed with Fadila once in Ghana. And I remember with Fadila, I'd be like, is it okay for me to go out? And she'd be like, oh, we're going out this night. By the time you see the reception of your hosts, like someone you're staying with, or people that you're living with or traveling with, and you realize that, oh, they can go out at night and come back in. It is okay to be out late. It's okay to do this and do that. Just asking questions generally helps you, survive in this country or city or state, wherever you are. Personally, also, like I don't do past myself. If people are not doing it, I mean, I can be very stubborn sometimes. I'm like, let me go see for myself. But sometimes, let me go see for myself is knock. If I go and see for myself, it is important for me to not come with the narrative of this happened because, right? I should be able to tell the truth. Like, oh, it was because I decided to go out of the people's way to do it my way is why this had happened. So I don't spoil the experience for the next person, going to have some, going to that city and stuff. So yeah, basically I'll just say for security measures, do what you gotta do, for yourself, and also be loving, right? I realized that during my Sierra Leone, like I said, when I got to Sierra Leone, immediately I entered the bus, they could tell that was JJC. And there was this guy that helped me. My driver gave me him and said, oh, apprentice. They don't call them conductor, they call them apprentice. I was like, oh, apprentice, should they go this way? If you don't see bus, let me put them. And the guy was very nice. Immediately he helped me get SIM card so that I can call my host. And it was like, oh, he lost his parent, and we started talking. But later I got to the bus and everybody in the bus was just like, oh, he's going to hijack your phone. He's going to take your phone. Go, drop it. Like, oh, this guy has been helping me since I got here. Like, But they're like, oh, that's how they do. And then before you know it, when the bus about moving, they'll just hijack your phone and run. I'm like, well. So at that point, I had people in the bus telling me, the rules and regulation in the land. Like, you think they're being nice, but they are not. But I had a different feeling with this guy. Sometimes also follow your guts. I have this gut when I feel like, oh, this person doesn't really have my interest at heart, right? You could tell from, no matter how nice they seem to be sometimes, you could tell from their body language or something. And this guy just seems like it was not here to harm me. So overall, just follow your gut, follow your instincts, do what you got to do, have your pepper spray, your security measures. Just don't be a threat before you receive threats. That's the thing. Don't be a threat.
Right. So when it comes to traveling African countries, how do you process and navigate with visa and passport? And that would also segue us into vaccines, because when you're at the border, I interviewed somebody who goes to Benin Republic, and she was sharing her experience with the border patrol and how they would ask you for vaccines and your vaccine certificates or something, and visa and all of that. So how do you navigate, especially when you're going to like different countries?
Okay. I have my vaccine. So I have my yellow fever vaccination card, and I have
Is that the only
my
one?
yeah, that's very important. I think that's the number one vaccination card you should have if you're navigating other countries. I've only been around West African countries, which is like 15. That's the way I've been to. I've not been outside. So I can't talk
Okay.
about visas because these countries are visa free for Nigerians.
All
Um,
right.
but you have to have a yellow fever vaccination card, and you have to have your COVID-19 vaccination card. I hope the noise in the background is not affecting too much.
No, no, no.
Okay. Then you have
So
to
they're still
have your
asking for COVID-19.
yes, they have. Oh no, they have to get COVID-19. It's very important. I mean, in some countries, yes, some countries they don't really care about it. But once they want to stress you, maybe they want you to bribe them and you're not agreeing, they will ask you for those documents. So just to not stress yourself, just have it. Um, Navigating that, I think one country wanted to by fire by force give me a yellow vaccination, a yellow fever vaccine. I think they said my meningitis had expired or something like that. And this was Ivory Coast. So it was, I've read about it, like they want to by fire by force give you the vaccine. And the thing about me and injection is we don't go well, especially when I'm traveling. I'm on a long journey. The first time I took my yellow fever vaccination card, I had fever for like a day. It's just how my body reacts to injections
Yeah.
generally. So
That can be
I'm
very
trying to explain
inconvenient
to
for
this
traveling.
lady. Yeah, I was trying to explain to this like I think I just crossed into Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is they're very, very mandatory on your yellow fever vaccination card. In short, if you don't have it, they must give you before you leave. So I think I had to like go back and forth and tell the woman, don't worry, when I get home, I will definitely update my vaccines, but I can't take it right now. I'm sorry that I'm going against the protocol, but I just can't, right? So always have it, your yellow vaccination card, keep it up to date. I think mine was just expired by a few days. And I'm like, I'm not a threat yet, right? It's just few days expired. And they have to just make sure that you have this, you have that. So when traveling, always have your passports, your yellow fever vaccination card. Yellow fever is very important. They won't let you pass without it. All of the borders, except you want to be bribing your way, which sometimes doesn't work with yellow fever vaccination card. Always have your COVID-19 just in case. If you don't have your passport, have your ID cards. You can still travel across these borders with your ID cards. In short, if you have your ID card, is very, very important. In short, it makes it easy sometimes because with your ID card, you don't have to stamp. You just pay the protocols and you pass. So,
All right.
yeah, basically, that's just it.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So share with us a few similarities between Nigeria and other African countries that you have visited.
See, we are
I'm very
so
curious.
we are so much alike than any person can think of. In short, we are brothers and sisters. There is nothing. You know when they say rice is at home. Now
Yeah.
Nigerians will say that nothing is outside, but rice is at home, Abi. There is rice at home in every other countries. There is always rice at home. My host in Liberia will be like, just know that there is rice on the table. Like there is always rice at home.
Oh, wait. Wow.
There is rice at home. Our culture, right? And I won't go into culture. I'll go into our ways of life. Our ways of life is so similar. Marketing, the market. When you go to the market, I like to go to the market because that's where 100% transactions of a country, like 50% of the transactions go on, and that's where you're going to meet a vast number of people. And if you go into the market, you realize that, oh, they sell this thing in Nigeria and they sell it here. Or the way they used to drag you, oh, auntie, come, and they sell for you, you need this one. It's like the same thing everywhere. Like, yo, in Sierra Leone speaks this amazing pidgin. Sierra Leone is like living in worry. So they have this pigeon that is so sweet. It's just like worry pigeon, very conk and very sweet. Now, if you go into Sierra Leone market, it's just like being in any other market you can enter in Nigeria. the Igbo boys dragging you to come and buy here, the person selling Okirika, this one selling that one and this one. It's just, we're so similar. We are so alike in, our business techniques. That it's just amazing to see. The way we also accept people in, how we're so welcoming. They're just like that. And I'm like, okay, we have so many similarities and our differences are not that much. Maybe language barriers, right? Maybe the language, maybe just the way they do things in a certain set, but we're so similar. We are so similar. We have so much in common. I remember I'd be like, I'm not far away from home like that, right? It just, apart from the language, I'm not that far away.
It feels like home. It feels like home. I get it. So speaking of markets, I think knowing how much I like shopping, and so I'm trying to figure out how to balance minimalism and then being able to go to a different country's market and shopping for souvenirs. So I'm going to ask you, what's been your share three? Let me just not go wild. Share three favorite souvenirs that you've gotten from any markets.
Okay. So first of all, let me put it out there. I don't have money. If people think that I have money, I don't have money. Wait. When it comes to souvenirs, right? I don't have money.
So but it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be something. My
greatest souvenir that I take away from every country is especially their money. I like to gather currencies. Like, check my books. I have currencies across every other country in my home. Like every country I've traveled to, I have their currency. So currency is like the biggest souvenirs for me. I don't buy a lot of things because I'm a backpacker and I don't have space. My bag is always filled most of the time. So I think I bought. There was one time I bought one Igbako from somewhere because it looks like the same Igbako we have in Nigeria, and I bought it. And I'm like, okay, Igbako. Do you still have it? It was not here. I'm not in my house. I still have it, but I don't have it here. I have some neck piece and hair piece, all this African neck piece and hair piece. I have clothes. Sometimes I buy clothes. Like in Mali, fabrics is quite cheap in Mali. So when I was in Mali, I bought quite enough of it. What else? What else do I have? There's also souvenir they gave me in Abeokuta. I think they wrote Alaminka on it, and it was one of the first souvenirs I had when I was traveling. Yeah, so I still have it. And there was one from Ghana. They do the seashells when you go to the, what's it called? When you go to the slave place, they give you this shell, they write your name on it. I think I still have that. There's some things I just keep that I don't understand why I keep them. But they're just like where they have they got them. But currency is like my biggest souvenirs. Maybe when I have more money, I can buy more, but currency is my biggest. I
like the fact that it's currency. I think it's a good, very tangible thing to show that I've been to this country. I like the currency. I actually borrow that.
I didn't know that I collected until sometimes you'd be like when you're broke on the way, let me just change all this money and just to go back home because I don't understand. I think I had like Guinea Conakry currency. I think I have about 100,000 of their money, and I was asking myself, mostly I just take like each currencies, and I'm like, why do I have 100,000 of you people's money? 100,000 of their money at least would do something for me on the road when I got stranded. But now I can't change it because I already passed 2 borders that doesn't use that currency. And I'm like, okay, we'll keep it. When I go back next time, I'll spend it.
Okay. Hopefully they haven't changed it like they changed Nigeria's currency by the time you go back.
They should change it, please, because that currency is not currency. They should please. I don't mind.
Okay, so this is the next question is one of my favorite questions to ask guests that we have on the show that travel, and that's cuisine and food. Anytime I talk about my experience with going to different places and trying out their food, earlier when I was talking about going to Adamawa, And every day I would go to Mami Market for the 3 weeks I spent in camp, and I would be like, give me something I've not eaten before. I feel like you're not even scared. What if you die? Like, what if you have food poisoning? I'm like, you only live once, bro. I still want to taste it. I want to taste it. I will put it in my mouth. Maybe I will do it and I don't like the texture. It doesn't feel right, but I will try it because I'm there. Why not? So share some of your favorite cuisines from different countries that you have traveled to.
Okay. Again, I'm not a foodie.
Oh.
I'm not a foodie. I rarely eat when I'm traveling.
No.
But yeah, apart from that, so when you travel to some of these French countries, they don't have, how do I put it? They have food, but they don't have
Mhm.
much food. Mm.
Okay.
Like it mostly feels like intercontinental dishes than it is
Right.
local dishes, right?
Mhm.
So initially doing this trip, I had a lot of rice and a lot of bread that I've been running from rice and bread since I got back. Um, but there are like very interesting food combinations I've had. With especially with bread. I've had bread with um, green green peas that the one they use to make fried rice. Yeah, it's a thing that they eat in Guinea. Bread with green peas and turkey. I've had bread with avocado and onions. I've had rice with atagungun, only atagungun and grounded pepper and what's it called? Canned fish. Pinto. Like they
West,
don't. Sometimes you can eat the rice. You can eat the rice without
I think he
stew.
has a name. I think he has a name. I can't remember. I know that I've seen that here in Nigeria. Here in Nigeria, they'll put it inside like little plates like this and then cover it with one nylon and sell. I'm trying. I don't know what it's called anymore, but I know that I've seen that.
Yeah, it's just they just put the yeah. I think in Ghana, I've had the granite soup. So granite soup is very common across other countries too. But in Ghana,
Hmm.
the granite soup is watery, but other countries like a bit thicker than what we have in Ghana. I like granite soup. I like granite soup. I like the cassava soup too. It's very interesting. You have a lot of cassava soup across the French countries. You have cassava soup everywhere. Yeah, so there's this soup. I can't remember the name presently, but it's stew. It looks like a stew in Liberia. When you eat it, like it looks like atadi, normal fried pepper here, but when you take a bite, it's very bitter. And I'm like, why is this stew bitter? Then they will be like, oh, it's for the weather. It was raining a lot, and they say, oh, it's for the weather. When you eat it, it just keeps you warm. It's like, oh no, I don't do bitterness in soup. I like it, a amount of sweetness. So yeah,
That's very curious.
I've had quite a number of interesting meals, especially with bread. And the one that I finally fall in love with is bread and fried meat. It's so sweet. It's so sweet.
Bread and fried
Bread
meat.
and fried meat is, yeah, it's
I
so
wonder.
sweet.
What is it? Is it beef?
Yes, beef, like cow beef, normal beef. It's so sweet.
Okay.
But
I think
I
I'll
was
go back.
thinking that maybe our Nigerian bread will not be sweet, but that bread and fried meat, oh my goodness! I had tooth issue the day that we stopped by to eat that, and I'm like, throughout this trip, just be giving me bread and fried meat. It's okay. I'm okay. Yeah, but
Oh my
that
days.
is
Okay, okay. All right. Let me see. My next question is, wait, how many more minutes do I have? Okay, a few more minutes. I have a few more
yeah.
minutes. Favorite African country you have traveled to by road and why? I know that's a very hard pick, especially since you've been to a lot, but
If
try.
not me, how do I now mention Nigeria now? Like say out of Nigeria, should I leave Nigeria out of it?
Please. Nobody cares about
Oh,
Nigeria at this
I
point.
cares, but I mean, this is my
Leave
own country, so
Nigeria out of it for now.
um,
I'm going to come back to Nigeria. Let's go to African countries.
favorite country. So in terms of favorite, they have different distinction for me. The
Okay.
countries are going to have different distinction. I like Ghana. I like Ghana a lot. I moved to, I mean, I stayed in Ghana for a while, I think about 5 months at a time, and I go to Ghana at least every December. I just like life in Ghana. I mean, Ghanaians have their complaints, but as a Nigerian, I find Ghana still more suiting and loving for me. Ghana is expensive, but I think that if I work hard, I'll have a nice life. The security, the quality of life at some point in Ghana is very good. So not like very, very good, but I mean on a scale of Nigeria and Ghana, right? I like Ivory Coast, right? Ivory Coast is beautiful. Ivory Coast is very beautiful. It's like small Paris in Africa. Ivory Coast is very beautiful, but it's very expensive. It's one of the most expensive countries in West Africa. Very expensive. But during this trip, I kind of fall in love with Guinea-Bissau. Funny enough,
Why?
um, Guinea-Bissau is very small, and their population is very small, and they are one of the countries that people don't talk about. They are rated as one of the poorest countries. But during my visit, it felt like home. It felt
Hmm.
peaceful. Everybody was in love. Everybody was, you know, I just don't know. It felt like if I live here, I can be contented. Maybe I might want more of life, right? But I can feel like I can always go back home. If it's rough, if it's ghetto, when I get back home, my people will accept me. Like the communism that is going out there, it's so good. To the extent that I took a cab, like when you move from one place to another, you take a cab. So I think I was traveling from Guinea-Bissau to Guinea-Conakry, and the bus stopped at the junction. You know how you stop for food break? And then it was food break. I didn't have enough money to, buy whatever because the money in Guinea is just the money in Guinea is safer, but once you move into Guinea Conakry, the money is it's just scattered. Right? You can be having 30,000 for food, I'd be 70,000 for food. And I don't understand it. So they packed and these people come together, they bought food in this big bowl. That's how they eat over there. They eat in a big bowl. Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, Senegal, they eat in Mali, they eat in this very big bowl, everybody. Now, I understand as a family, but I don't understand as a couple of strangers in the bus coming together to eat in this same big bowl. It was amazing because the meal was about 40,000 Guinea franc. I can remember, and I think everybody chipped in 5,000 Guinea franc, and they bought this meal. Everybody, strangers. It's like you entering Danfo, and all of you had to come down together with the conductor and the driver and yourself. I mean, if
And
Nigerians,
everybody
what?
else.
How? It's not like I don't know. It has
No.
never happened before. So and everywhere you see them coming out in the evening, they have this big circle, like in their city center. They have this playground, parks that the government built for them. This is opposite the president's house. And you will see everybody there at night, chilling, singing, dancing. And for every day I went back there just to live is a consistent thing. Every day, Monday, Tuesday to Sunday, they're just having fun and living life. And I'm in love with Guinea. I'm in love with Guinea-Bissau for the community, for the for the sense of family that is going on there. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm in love with Guinea-Bissau. Yeah, I mean, at this point,
Great.
it's
So
official.
one last question.
Okay.
One last question before we go.
Okay.
How do you, as somebody who has traveled 50 countries right now, how do you navigate working on the road and traveling? Because I mean, somehow, some way, you still have to get work done
Yeah.
on the road. So how do you navigate? Especially with this,
Um,
with a lot of African countries, because we still struggle with, Wi-Fi and power supplies. I just want to know how you do it.
well, power supply is Nigerian issue. You people should just take it. Power supply in other countries is not an issue like that. So people should just take that power supply thing and hold it with your full chest because they
Okay.
can't relate. They can't relate. Yeah. So other countries, the only thing is that data is very expensive in other countries.
Okay.
Data is very expensive. Nigerians, we are enjoying, right? Other countries, data is very expensive. So when I travel, I buy data for work and then social media, because social media is also work for me. Content
Yeah.
creation, updating my
Mm-hmm.
travel page with travels information is also work for me. So I don't have any choice. I mostly buy the country SIM because that way you get more offers. Because if your roaming is more
Okay.
expensive, so it's very advisable you buy the country SIM and then you buy data, which is still expensive, but if you can rationalize your way, you figure it out. What else? I when I get to a new country, I take a day off before exploring. So that day off, I get to do work. So let's say I'm in a role for like 10 days. I'm going to travel from one country to another in between that 10 days. So if I have to do 3 days here, my first day is for work, myself, and rest. Then I explore the next 2 days. I do that over time. So that way, and if I have meetings, I mostly give my meetings to times that I don't have to be on the road. And if I have to be on the road, I need to be sure that this network I'm using can, take me. And I'm sure that I'm not crossing into another country's border before my meeting, or I'm not going to be in a
Before the
remote
meeting.
place before my meeting.
Yeah.
So that way I get to get
Yeah.
work done and I get to, catch up with socials and stay connected. So the biggest advice is just don't roam, except if you're Dangote's daughter. Anyways, have it your
Oh,
way.
to the last daughter.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing, cheap. Expensive is relative, so you can roam, my dear.
I
You can just roam.
honestly, same
You can
goes
just
for
roam.
affordable. To be very honest, when people say
But
it's affordable,
if
is your affordable my affordable?
aha, so is my affordable your affordable? It's because our affordable is not on the same affordability level.
No,
But yeah, just
definitely
just
not.
buy the same.
Definitely
I
not.
mean, right now I have 15 countries same in my house. At this point, if EFCC should carry me, they would think that I'm doing fraud with these things. But I have
Only if you do
just
it
quite
share
a
on your
number of them.
Instagram page, I don't let you go.
You get, just build them. But yeah, basically that.
All
I
right,
think
so
someone asked the question about how I fund my trip. I saw it went up.
yes, I didn't know. I actually saw it, but I didn't know if you wanted to answer that, because that's quite an intrusive question, to be very honest.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of the questions people ask. I don't mind answering it because
Okay.
you don't want to give a false perspective to people about how you're funding your trip. A lot of time I get people saying, "Oh, you're living my life. I want to do what you're doing," and then I can tell you, even though
The
I'm
grass
making
is
my
not green
money,
on
my
the tree.
sister,
You
if
don't know.
you go and
You
jump
don't
on the
know.
road,
You don't know. You don't
exactly.
know.
I'm telling you. But yeah, I will fund my trip. I work. I work. I am a freelancer. I've been a freelancer most of my life. Anyways, I've never done 9 to 5. So I am a freelance. I'm doing a lot of things. Sometimes I'm a project manager. Sometimes I'm a brand manager. Sometimes I'm a web developer. I do a lot of things just to make sure that to have my money. Look at you. So yeah, my work, and sometimes I have people from socials, drop bit by bit. I'm sing, and I'm not the people person, but I have a lot of beautiful people in my community that always support my trip. Oh, it's okay on the trip. 5,000 yeah, 2,000 yeah.
It goes a long way. Oh my God. I think the network is acting up again. I mean, I get it. I truly get it. I don't know if it's my network right now,
Okay, I think
but
I'm
the
back.
network is okay. All right.
Okay, yeah. So basically, I have social media people that support my trip. I also sell some of my merchandise on Alamin Car. I have Alamin Car community merchandise. I also put that up for sale. And but 80% of my trip is being funded by my personal
Um,
money.
could you please give the website to the link to the website? Just say it so that I'll be able to tag it and then people can find you.
The link to my website.
So that people can find your merchandise. Just say it. I would
Oh, okay. It's just
when I'm captioning.
it's just Alamin Car store. I think it's Alamin Car
Okay.
store. I think it's Alamin Car
All
store.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alamin Car
All
store.
right. So
So
when I'm captioning, I'll be able to put it,
yeah,
and people can
yep.
find you and buy your stuff.
Yeah. So basically, I tell people that travel is not cheap, and cheap also is relative, but it's always if you put on a scale of preference what is more important to you, you can choose, right? For me,
Yeah.
I hardly spend my money on clothes or hair or whatnot. I'll mostly spend my money on trips. So it depends on what you want to spend your
What's
money on.
important to each
What's
person?
important to
Yeah,
you. So
definitely.
if you want to travel more, you can always save. If you're earning 100,000, you can save 20,000 to your future trip. I know how to travel as consistent as I do, or any other person does. You can do once a year, twice a year. Just make sure that you save up for it and you have an amazing time when you do, right? Than having to jump up and down without having any financial balance. Just at every point you're going, you're going, you're going. I mean, I know that Nigeria is stressful. Go small, small. Sometimes it's necessary. But yeah,
Oh
basically.
my days. I have had the best time on this live. Thank you so freaking much for taking the time to join me, to talking with me and sharing your experiences. Finally, before we go, is there any other tip or anything you want to add for people who want to travel by road? If there's any question in particular you think I should have asked that I haven't, you know,
I think you
before
did
we
a
round
good
up
job.
completely.
I think you did a good job. What else? Just get on the road, right? Get on the road. Also look into transportation companies because they can be moving mad sometimes. If you're going to be going with a transportation company that is registered, I think there are a few of them that can be trusted on this road. I think during my trip, I could talk about SMT, STEM, STC. I think they hold up to reputation across some of these countries, and some they will stress your life. But however, just take care of yourself and have fun, regardless of whatever hiccups that might happen on the road. I mean, I had a 10-hour trip turned to a 2-day trip, and I also met some people that had been on the road for like 2 weeks from Lagos to Liberia, just Lagos to Liberia for 2 weeks. It's crazy. So it can be a different. Yeah, Peace Transit showed me Pepe. Um, so yeah, just be open minded, have fun. Make sure your phone is always charged, because if not, download a lot of movies and music, whichever
To keep
one
you
works for you,
company.
or books.
Oh, but
I mean,
yeah.
because the journey can be so long, you just be like, I see the baby. Are we not there yet? Right. So, oh, Manny in Ghana. Hi, Manny. Hello. But yeah, well, thank you, Matthew. But yeah, travel by road, travel solo, enjoy life. It's short. Have fun.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
is. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out. You seem like such an amazing and warm person, and I had a great time interviewing you. So thank you. We will definitely
Welcome.
have you on again. I can tell you that because you are such a fun person to spend time with. So thank you, thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
and
you're
all the best
welcome.
in your future journeys, your future
Thank
endeavors. I hope
you.
you continue to have a great time, continue to experience life, and yeah, all the best. So
Yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you to everyone
Oh,
who
you're
joined the live
welcome. Thank you
stream.
everyone for joining. We'll see you on the
Yeah,
other side.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All
All
right.
right, bye.
Have a great evening. Bye.
You too, bye. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the live today. I had an amazing time. This is why I do this. Honestly, this is why I love media so much. Talking to people is so great. Getting to learn from them sharing their experience and everything. Oh, I think my mic is low. Okay, no, we're still good. Getting to learn from them and their experiences, it's amazing. So, you can find this live if you want to watch the recap of it on our Instagram page and also up on our YouTube. And if you're wondering what Jackpot Content, Jackpot.ng is, we are an organization that curates and create content for immigration, travel, lifestyle, and we also help you sell your properties if you're traveling, relocating, or you want an upgrade, or you want to buy something. Just check out our page. Everything you need is right there. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be here again next week, Saturday by 6 p.m. with another amazing guest. So you want to keep it a date with me, I will be here. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night and enjoy the rest of your weekend too. I'm Hadasa Ajayi for Jackpot.ng. Sayonara. Bye, guys.